Today we are looking at a device that can get you thrown in jail or at worst killed or kill somebody. Today we're talking about the Blowy and why you need to be super cautious about stuff like this, especially online. Now, the reason I'm doing this review now is because New Year's Eve is right around the corner, and you know people are going to be out drinking and hopefully not driving. Please be safe. But people buy these little breathalyzers in an attempt to, test their limits of alcohol consumption before they get behind the wheel. Now, at the very end of this video, I'm going to explain to you how they can get away with selling these even if they're not super accurate. But let's hop into the video first. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Chase, and this is All Things Random, mostly watch reviews with some random stuff sprinkled in between, and this is the random stuff that I love bringing to you guys. Now, I am a senior patrol officer, senior FTO, and crisis negotiator in Anchorage, Alaska. It is my job not to go out and do traffic stops, but sometimes you come along a traffic stop in which someone is impaired driving. Oftentimes, when I come across someone impaired, it's because they've been in a collision. Then, you have the odor of alcohol, slurred speech, bloodshot, watery eyes, dexterity. You run them through the standardized field sobriety test, and then you take them down and you use a proper data master, which is the big machine that they provide a breath sample. Oftentimes we do use something called a PBT, a portable breath test, which I am going to use in correlation with this. I'm going to show you my issued portable breath test. That is an older model, but still up on its certification. And then we're going to compare it to see how accurate this Blowy is. Now, I haven't done the test yet. I don't know how accurate it is. So I'm going to give you my honest opinion at the very end. And even if this is super accurate or it's wonky all over the place, again, at the very end of the video, I'm going to explain to you how they get away with selling these and take away all the liability and put it straight on you. Now, what comes in the Blowy? The Blowy is super simple. It is in a small box. This thing is about 40 to 50 bucks. And inside is a USB to USB-C, a operator manual, and then the Blowy device itself. Now, this thing is not hard to use at all. You basically just hold down the button until it turns on. It has 15 seconds of warming up, which is it's clearing out the machine, supposedly. Then it tells you to blow. Then you take a deep breath, and then you place your mouth right at the very end. Provide a sample. We'll actually just go through it right now. So turn it on, turns on, then it counts down 15 seconds. Now this is in the real world when things are recalibrating, warming up because of whatever device is inside. I have no idea what they use to read alcohol breath on this. So it gives you 9 seconds. That's it. It says I'm triple zeros, which of course I am because I haven't been drinking yet. But I am going to do a mini wet lab at home, not in the studio, because I don't live in my studio. And of course, I don't want to drive home. That would be insane. So let's do the wet lab. And let me explain to you exactly what I'm going to do to test this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to consume whiskey because I love whiskey. I'm going to do a small glass of 2 ounces. Then I'm going to wait 15 minutes. What I'll do after 15 minutes is I will do a sample on the Blowy and a sample on my portable breath test issued by a police department. And then you can see side by side how accurate this is. Then 15 minutes later, once the alcohol is being metabolized into my system, I will do another portable breath test on this, the Blowy, and on the portable breath test. Then we're kind of see what happens. After an hour, I will consume another 2 ounces, and then we'll do the same thing, 15 minutes and 15 minutes, and we'll see if anything changes. Hopefully I can get a good reading, but you can see that I've already done a control on this. It's triple zeros. And I'll do a control both with the portable breath test and with this before I even start, when I get home and I actually start consuming the alcohol. So let's go ahead and hop right into that portion.
That's so gross. How can anyone do that?
Got only 2 drinks. Do you want to know what it is? Point 1. Two whiskey drinks in an hour. 0.1, 2. That's surprisingly high. Glad I can hold it together as a YouTuber. So 0.126. $248. 248. Way off. 248. Now, as you guys saw, this thing is not super accurate. What I would tell you is this. The best rule of thumb is just be responsible and not rely on a portable breath test that you buy from the store or online. What bothers me the most, I think, about Blowy is the fact that when you look at all their advertisements. This is how I found this out. It popped up on my Instagram. It popped up on YouTube. I started researching more and more and more, and they constantly are, you should be responsible, you should use this, you should check your blood alcohol, you should make sure that you are under 0.08 before you do anything. I would say my rule of thumb with myself as a responsible 40-year-old and as a police officer is the moment I have one drink, my wife does not drink and she drives. If we're both drinking or I'm out with friends, it's immediately known that we're all going to take Ubers or taxi cabs. We live in an area, right, of time in the world, especially in the US or in a first world country, that there's Uber and Lyfts and taxis everywhere, and they're not very expensive. An Uber ride from wherever I am in Anchorage to home is like $15. And is saving yourself $15 really worth going to prison for a DUI? I don't think so. So my recommendation is always just actually be responsible. You don't need this. Just take a Lyft or an Uber. If you think that you're going to be so irresponsible that you're going to drive anyway, you don't need to be out drinking because clearly you have a problem. Now, do you want to know how they get away with selling these at all? Well, if you look, there's a small disclaimer right at the very bottom, and I'm going to read it to you. It says, this device is intended for entertainment purposes only and should not be exclusively relied upon to determine whether it is safe to drive after drinking. Always practice due diligence and make responsible decisions. We encourage you to use other reliable methods to assess your ability to drive safely and comply with all local laws regarding alcohol consumption and driving. So that is what wanted me to get this. That is what caused me to purchase this. Is I was looking over their website. I was like, oh, I wonder how accurate it could be. And then right at the very bottom in the fine print, they're like, oh, in fact, this isn't real. It is. That's how they're selling it. It's not real, but it is. Use it, but don't use it. Don't rely upon it. It's for entertainment purposes only. And this is why this is going to get people thrown in jail or killed, or you're going to kill somebody else, is the fact that they advertise this as you being safe with your alcohol consumption and driving, but, in the fine print, don't use it actually, which actually really bothers me. I know that companies should be able to obfuscate liability, I guess, but not when you have something that is intended to read your blood alcohol through your breath, and then you determine whether or not it's safe to drive. I think that's completely irresponsible. I'm doing this because New Year's is right around the corner, and I want you guys to not use these before you get behind the wheel. Anyway, what do you guys think? Again, this is all things random. Mostly watch reviews, wristwatch check, Rolex Explorer 2. That has been my go-to. Mostly watch reviews with some random stuff sprinkled in between. I do have a couple more random stuff coming down the line. Anyway, guys, be safe at the end of 2024. Enjoy the new year, 2025. Do it safely. Do it responsibly. I'll see you guys in the next one.